Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. As you can see, I have a guest here today. This is my cousin Libby, and I'm very excited to interview her. Before I do, though, I want to remind you we do have a Pilates class, and it's going really, really well right now on Sundays from 2 to 3. Come join it. It is not crazy. We are going in a methodical kind of way, and we're building each week and everybody's getting stronger. So come join us for this class. Where else can you get Pilates for $10? Come join us. We're in our garage. Also, we have convocation coming up pretty soon in a couple weeks. So if you were interested in lessons, this is the time to start right now. We have everybody raring to go for our Halloween convocation. Come join us for that. Don't miss out. With that being said, I want to interview my cousin today. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here, Libby.
Thank you for having me, Erin. I'm so excited.
I've been begging her for a little while, so I'm so excited that she's here. So, because I want you guys to meet her. I want you guys to see like how I mean, strong women, obviously, but also that she is such a creative, and I think that it's so helpful as a musician to hear other kind of art as well, to hear about it. And yeah, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, Libby. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So first, I got to ask because we're related. What is your favorite memory of us?
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's hard to nail down just one memory. So I could say a lot of memories kind of around spending the a week every summer with you growing up in Holden Beach was such a formative time. We did it for 25 years at least. And so there was just such a formative time in my life to see my cool big cousin and spend some time with her. And anytime any music comes on from that time period in like the late 90s, early 2000s, I am just transported back. So I would say summers at Holden Beach with you.
At Holden Beach. Yeah. Well, I got to say mine really quick before I ask you. Otherwise, so Libby did the coolest thing a couple years. I guess it's been 3 years now. She surprised me in Paris. I was going on a solo trip to Europe, and next thing I know, I get off the train from London and I get a text from her and says, "Guess what? I'm here." So we had so much fun that week. She's been to Paris before, so she told me all the cool places, but getting crepes and just getting really good food, like a five-star restaurant and all that. And it was all because of her. So that was one thing. But then also, she was the cutest kid when she was younger, and I always wanted to hold her. And so I just remember going, like, she could have totally been in commercials if she had wanted to be. But yes, so those are
And
my.
now I make them.
Okay, so my next question for you is, so everybody who has been watching this, I've been talking a little bit about the fact that I'm working on values and stuff. And, obviously we have worked on values as a school, but now I'm working on it as an individual. So what do you value in this life personally?
Like in general or like through about work,
In
anything?
general, in general.
Okay. I think in general, I really value like openness. I find that all of my best relationships tend to have a degree of wanting to see where the other person is coming from and just being open to new things and new experiences. I think it makes for better conversations. I think it makes for better quality time spent together. But also, I think that just being adaptable and open to new ways of doing things is kind of the only constant we have in this world. So I do think that like just trying to keep your mind open and excited and hungry for new experiences, I think is a value I value. I have a value that I value.
And Libby is a Libra, and so she is already very open to experiences. And so that seems exactly right. Very, very open. All right, cool. So Libby knows we come from a long line of strong women in our family. Uh, a lot of, yes, all I can say is strong, loud women. In knowing that, what do you do for a living?
Yes, I am a writer and creative director. I work across a whole spectrum of things. A lot of it all kind of circles around the idea of thinking of a good idea and sort of shepherding it from the ideation process to the final product. I do a lot of things in between, but I think what I really strive to do is just make sure that whatever idea that we're thinking of and we're pitching, the idea gets the shine, and the people who worked on it and the people who thought about it are able to have a voice and a seat at the table. So, I mean, you can watch the show Mad Men, which is an amazing show if you want to see like the ins and outs of advertising in the industry. But I do think that the one through line across all of it is that you have to learn how to communicate effectively and being persuasive and try to sell your ideas in.
Yeah, I've
So I've
heard you.
worked. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard you in meetings before, and what I notice is that you're such a good listener. You listen to everybody's ideas and you really take it in. Because I imagine, I mean, you're coming up with really good ideas yourself, but then you also have to be able to listen to others. And so I heard
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Something I try and do with my work too is that I want to be the voice for like the more junior creatives in the room, and help create a safe space for them. Sometimes it's very scary to do something for the first time, but also that's something that women tend to be really nervous about. But here's the thing. Don't tell anyone it's your first time. It's okay. We can create an environment where, like, if you just like, it's like acting. You just act like you're the most confident person in the room, act like your idea is the best idea in the world, and that will help sell it in.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, knowing all this, what is your proudest accomplishment with your job?
Ooh, okay. If I had to think of my one proudest accomplishment, I would say two things. Like from a business sense, it would be pitching Elf Cosmetics and like winning that business and being able to grow this brand that became like one of the biggest clients at my agency at the time. But really, what that means, what I was the most excited about was that we got to create two pieces of work that we sold in and got to keep the vision really, really close to what my team and I pitched. So one was an interview series that pretty much from the write up on the page to like the final output on YouTube, it was true to what my junior copywriter envisioned. And so throughout that whole process, it was cool for me as a creative, but also as a mentor because I was the one that was sort of pitching that idea like in a more client facing role. So I got to make sure that Caitlin's idea stayed intact and was kind of like that advocate behind the scenes for her. So I was very proud of that to just see it go all the way through. And then the other project I worked on that I'm really proud of is a music video I did for Elf. And it was kind of a deep dive into Latin culture. And what I'm most proud about that is that we made sure that the right people were in the room across every step of the process, which was not always the easiest thing in the world. But what happened as a result was that it felt authentic, it felt real, and just seeing the comments of people who felt seen and celebrated was truly the best feeling ever.
Yeah, didn't you get to like, didn't they like jet you across the country and stuff? I mean, like, that's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah,
That's
that was definitely an interesting moment in time. Yeah, it was definitely a cool way of celebrating this music video to like be flown across the country in such a an extra way and do the launch party. But really, like all private jets aside, I would have been just as excited flying a coach.
of course, of course. Yeah, Libby's in New York, and so they flew her across the country to LA, which I think that's just the coolest part. But yeah, I got to see your music video and I got to see like all of the stuff and the interview that you did. I mean, it was amazing. I was like, this is my little cousin. This she's doing this kind of I mean, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, that means
So we have a little bit of time left because I know you have to go. She's a busy woman. She is in high demand. So what? So coming from this family, what is your relationship to music?
Ooh, music is something that's always been around me. And so it's hard to pinpoint like any moment of not living with music because whether it was my mom like singing in the kitchen or having like going to music class as a kid, it was just such a big part of my life that honestly I think I was taking for granted until pretty recently because I realized because it was just such like a given. But when I realized that like music, it just has this amazing like transportive quality that it can like change your mood and you can feel connected. And I read something recently, it was on TikTok, but I think it's true. But basically that music is it's sound waves and brain waves. And if you tend to like the same music as your friends, it means that you guys are literally on the same wavelength, which is
Wow.
cool. I love that. And so I think that a degree of that is true because a lot of my friends do have a similar taste in music. So I think what music has done for me is that it's been such an outlet for me. One of my favorite things about living in New York is walking and putting on my headphones and just sort of like doing this like moving meditation where I just listen to like instrumental music or like The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, like those kind of vibes. It's like it feels so good and it truly is just like a bubble bath for your brain, which is so nice.
And you're a encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to the Beatles. She
Yes.
yes, my her mom and her dad, they brought her up on the Beatles, and so yeah.
And they met because of their love for the Beatles, funnily enough. They got set up on a date because they were both the biggest fans that they knew. I think it was your mom and somebody else who set them up, and it was because they both were the biggest Beatle fans that they
Oh,
knew.
wow.
I know. And so I guess I have a lot to credit music for because I wouldn't be here without it.
No, you and wow. Okay, cool, cool. Well, my last question, and this is, I think, an important one. I was worried we won't be able to get to it, but I think we have enough time. Do you have any message for young creatives out there?
Oh my gosh, I have so many messages for you guys.
Okay.
It is hard making it in the arts. Like, I was not someone who went to portfolio school or like those other types of pedigrees that you have going into the workforce. I sort of had to hustle my way into creative. So, one of the things I try and do is amplify younger voices. So, here's a couple of things you guys can do. One, don't necessarily ask for permission. A lot of times people's default answer is no. So if you're applying for a job or if there's a role or something that you're really excited about, just record yourself singing the song or just like execute your vision, create the mock-up of what you want to create and attach that to your initial reach out email because that will just kind of show that it's like, hey, I have something I think you'd be really excited about. And I went ahead and mocked it up for you. Take a look. And I think that the same is also true if you're applying for a job. Like if you are sending in your resume and your cover letter and you're stressed out because you don't have a lot of real world experience, it doesn't matter. Like they just want to see the way your brain works. So just take that extra step of like saying, hey, I noticed that you guys work with so and so brand. Here's a quick TikTok that I mocked up in that style. And those things go really far because people are busy. And I think that if you just kind of answer and show what is going on in your brain and showing your kind of creative spin on things, it can get you that second conversation. And then, secondly, I would say, don't be afraid to reach out and work your network. It is really kind of a strange time with AI and social media and
Yeah.
everything. But I would say that like what is so, so important of just making it in creative or anywhere is the connections you make along the way. So like network, speak to people in your life. And I think that that can really help because having a voice at the table who's saying, who's like, oh, should we hire somebody? And they remember you, it can only help you.
Yeah, and I have to say it's a pretty tough thing. A lot of people, we're not used to talking to a lot of people, but I think it's so necessary to be able to network, and talk to people, let people know you, get to know you, you know? Oh, it looks like you're there you are. Hi, you froze for a second. Well, thank you so much, Libby. I would love to have you on again at some point further down the road. We'll talk again about that, but thank you so much today. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me, and we'll talk again soon.
Love you.
Love
Talk to
you
you later.
too.
Bye.
Bye.